Hi there, it's Ian here, and you're watching Grumpy Opinions, the show where I'm going to tell you all about what I think of films, TV shows, games, and life in general. Let's get on with the show. The Mandalorian is a new Star Wars TV show, the TV show that they're making for Disney Plus. And it's been out for a wee while, and it's sort of cowboy western type thing, all about a guy called the Mandalorian, who's got like a wee baby Yoda type thing in tow, and he's run away from all the other bounty hunters. And remember, if you haven't already, you can follow me on Twitter at Grumpy Opinions. And it really helped me out if you had a wee chat on there and subscribe to the channel and give me a like vote and all that stuff. But yeah, Episode 5, The Gunslinger, kicks off with Mandy and Bubby Odds being attacked by another bounty hunter. Some guy who's like getting plenty of shots in on them, but then Mandy does like a very clever quick break and shoot thing, and he kills the guy dead. But his ship's gotten a bit broken up in the fight, so he needs to limp to the nearest planet again, and it's a desert one called Tatooine. Seems a bit familiar. Anyway, they can't really afford the repairs to the ship, so, he needs to do a job. But in this post-Imperial Mos Eisley cantina, where droids are very much allowed this time round, he finds like a non-guild guy who's desperate to get a bounty done so that he can join the guild. So Mandy agrees, as long as the guy gets the collar, but Mandy gets the money. So off they ride on their speeders, while the engineer lady looks after Baby Yoda. And out in the desert, they meet a bunch of Tusken Raiders, and then they see a dewbag, but the guy riding the dewbag's dead, and then boom, sniper shots from the baddie, and they wait until nightfall, and then they chance it using some flashbangs in the speeders, and it's kinda sketchy, but they do finally pull it off and they capture her. And then Mandy goes off to get the dewbag since his bike's totally toast, but then the other guy starts trying to get conned by the assassin lady. She's just about managed to turn him round into turning on Mandy, and letting her go. And he's almost fallen for it. But then no, boom, he shoots her dead and he zooms back off to town. And Mandy ends up finding her dead, and he heads back, and it turns out the young guy's taken hostages. But then Mandy does a clever flashbang and sneaks around the side and shoots him dead. And then he pays for the repairs using that guy's money. And then Mandy and Yoda are back on the road again. So what did I think? Well, I did wonder how they'd continue the story after the end of last week. They're still being chased by baddies with fobs and stuff, so it was kind of nice that we actually got a space battle this time, because that's one thing we haven't seen in this show so far. And let's get the big thing out of the way. This episode was set on Tatooine, which, as we know, is the one the very first film starts off on, the planet where Luke's home is. And wow, there was so many nods to the old films and references and stuff. That was really surprising, and it was really well done. All credit to them. I don't know where they shot this, but it looks fantastic. At least most of it does. There's a couple of CGI shots that are a little bit ropey, but generally it's pretty decent. And there was some requisite cuteness from Baby Yoda, and some nice little touches, like the whole thing about the droids now running this no droids bar. Because back before, remember the guy's
we don't serve their kind here.
What?
Your droids. They'll have to wait outside. We don't want them here.
And now they're actually running the place. And I'm not sure that was anything specific to do with the Empire, but you do see Stormtrooper helmets on spikes, so presumably the Hutts are back in charge again. But anyway, it was nice, quaint, and wee touches, a bit universe building there. And I liked how the young guy did the turnaround, because he wasn't the obvious thing. He didn't get conned quite so easy. But yeah, he shot the assassin. But I was surprised that he left her there, because you would have thought that he would actually have taken her, because maybe she was worth some money, dead instead of alive. And why not? Why not just take her? What difference does it make anyway? But it was also nice to see her off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again, playing the assassin. She hasn't done an awful lot recently, and it was really cool to see her. And yeah, that's kind of all I've got, because it was really, really short this week. It was a very short episode. But on the other hand, the bad hand, this episode was really short. A 30-minute episode again, and it feels like it. And I'm not saying it felt rushed or anything like that, but it kind of felt it was really short. But yeah, they still found time for a lot of clowning around with this woman who played the engineer. And I don't know what this was supposed to be. Apparently she's not a bad actress. Her name's Amy Sedaris, and she's done a lot of good stuff. She does loads of voice work. Apparently she was in the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmid, which is supposed to be really good. I've not seen it, but it's meant to be good. But in this, she was kind of awful. And what was really interesting is in the end credits, they had one of those production drawings. And in that drawing, well, the engineer lady looks an awful lot like Linda Hunt. And you'd know Linda Hunt because you've seen her. She's been in loads and loads of films. She's very famous. She's quite a short American actress who's, she usually plays quirky, strange characters. And yeah, I can totally imagine her playing this role. And I think it would have actually worked quite well. She's already done Star Wars stuff before. She was the voice of the giant lizardy thing that lived in, at the beginning of the Solo movie. But yeah, I just didn't understand where they were taking this thing, and it just felt a bit odd. And yeah, it didn't work for me at all. And I'm sorry to say it, that kind of ruined all the scenes that she was in, that character. But also, right, Mandy's back to being awesome one minute and then inept the next, and that's kind of par for the course with this show. But my real crib was actually what I said in the positives as well. The fan service, because it was kind of painful. I mean, at first I was like really chuffed because I'm like, hey, it's Mos Eisley, it looks great. And then maybe they shot it at the new Disney theme park place or whatever. But, but then they kept piling it up on it. It was like, oh, there's this place and Stormtroopers, and we're back in the same part. And look, and there's some Tusken Raiders, and we're giving them the binocular things that Luke had. And look, there's some dewbacks again that we've seen before. Oh, and there are mentions of Beggar's Canyon. And then literally just using actual lines. There was a couple of definite lines that were taken straight from other Star Wars films. And I felt completely like puckled by it by the end of it. I mean, it just felt like lazy, cheap fan service, and it's not necessary. And it came as absolutely no surprise to me that this was written and directed this week by Dave Filoni, who's the guy who makes the Clone Wars cartoons. And it totally shows because this feels like a cartoon, and it's about the length of a cartoon. And I'm sure he's really good at that. I've never watched the Clone Wars, but it's supposed to be really, really good, and I'm sure it is for a kids' cartoon. But that's wrong for this show. I feel like it's wrong. And yeah, and I feel kind of bad that all I'm saying is I feel like I'm repeating the same things every week, but it's such a tiny wee flimsy show and it's not got much meat on it. But I basically feel like I'm repeating it's a cowboy show, it's mediocre, and there's too many Star Wars in jokes. And that's kind of it. It's predictable. So yeah, until next time, I've been Ian, and these have been my grumpy opinions.